YouTube, hello there internet. I like to snort loudly at the start of conversations, just to signpost my crippling addiction to inhalants in general, cocaine specifically, let people know what to expect. Earlier, we were just kind of taking this wide boy, just going through hell with the wide boy. He's very wide. I get very frustrated playing him sometimes because this game loathes and despises melee characters, and it hates you for playing them, and it just wants you to suffer and have the audacity to try. I'm trying with this axe. This axe is really good. Like obviously, yeah, the obedience chunks so much harder, right? Like, no one's gonna dispute that the obedience is really harder in this axe. But for the safety you get, and against the immune to fires, it just doesn't even, like, it's a wash. Against stuff that isn't immune to fire, it's pretty much a wash, because, like, yeah, this thing doesn't hit as hard, but it hits way faster, and I hate these guys. I hate these guys so much. I hate everything that makes other things. I just need to, like, pick a corner and start chunking through it. Just start chopping down the tree. It ain't pretty, but you kind of slowly get the job done. I can't hit these things. They're just blocking every shot. Thanks. Like, my attack rating is not bad at all. It's not that bad. It's freaking 10k. And I'm just like, whiff. When that happens, it's because they're blocking. Ugh. Wait, who just freaking cursed us? That was a freaking slug. And
hello.
It's fun every now and then to fight stuff like that, but
how may I help you?
Man, honestly, like the enemies that spawn other enemies, they're at the top of my list for being like a fun police enemy that, like, it's just one of those things that, like, it goes from being, as I've said before, it goes from being a mechanic you can interact with in, like, normal difficulty, even nightmare, to just, it's just something that's just fun. It's just a fun tax in hell. Because, you know, the whole idea is that it's like, it's sort of like the fallen shamans, right? It's like, it's saying, here's this kind of meat shield that's just gonna, like, bog you down and slow you down and mess you down. And now, I swear that's not what I clicked, but also this is actually the term, so alright, cool. Hold on, I need to remember which direction I actually go in. But as I was saying, it's like, so you have this hold on. I'm so disorganized with all this sort of stuff, like having like notes for like the game and stuff. But, you know, like, I'm used to playing the game on my own time, and no one's really coming in to watch this, so it's not like I need to, like, have some streamer set up. Oh, cold Pepsi's so good, even in freaking winter. I don't care. But yeah, so it's like this. Okay, I can, like, you know, I have the option of, like, diving this guy, who is the real threat, and then we come back and keep taking the scraps. Like, you know, totally comprehensible game design. And it's it's one of those things
Good
where it's like, oh,
evening.
it's so axiomatic, right? Obviously, you want to take out the threats first, but it's like, yeah, but depending on the positioning of the threats, you might be overextending to try to dive them straight away. You might try to dive one, and now you aggro a new threat, and now you have to try to deal with that. Like, so anything that's kind of pushing you to overextend is a really, uh, you know, it's a dicey mechanic that, but it's a mechanic that functionally you interact with, right? Like, you can always just decide to come back. You can try to, like, just come to a door and just grind your way through with, like, attrition. Like, I've done it, we've all done it. Sometimes that's the play, is, like, just to be patient and not overextend. But sometimes you get yourself into, like, a spot of bother. Like, you dive into a room to get to one of these guys, maybe, and then you, like, oh, crap. Like even this. Look, this is dangerous, right? Because, like, we're trying to deal with them, but when I say that, like, they don't scale in hell difficulty, what I mean is, like, you will eventually get to positions where there is simply no way of interacting with them, where, like, the thought that you will ever dive them to shorten the fight, totally unthinkable, totally undoable. Like, even here, I'm genuinely, like, getting forced out because there's just some random enemy that I can't actually leech off. And I've got, like, a crit poison on me, so, it's literally just like, okay, go back to town. Which I hate so much, by the way. Like, it's so frustrating, because, you literally hear me talking about the gameplay, and talking about how, like, you're doing all this, like, decision-making, and you're trying to, like, make the right play, and, like, sometimes it doesn't work out for you. Like, like, if my mercenary were more poorly equipped, if those ghosts just, managed to, because, like, I could have been, trying to stun the ghosts at the same time, like, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you hear me talking about the gameplay, right? Well, like, any enjoyment I was getting in that fight, just literally just gone. Like, it, like a bucket of cold water is dumped on it. When as soon as, like, some bullshit, it just forces you to, like, make a portal, go back to town, come back. It's like, I don't know. But, even things like, okay, well, you say, well, the gearing puzzle is something you can interact with. And it's like, yeah, but not in hell. Because, like, even if you had the most, like, god-level tiered shared stash, like, no one has poison. Like there's no gear slots for it, right? Like, what are you gonna have? Duress or something? Like, what are you gonna replace this with? Like, there's nothing you can put here, like, that has more resistance than the actual class-specific hats for the druid. Like, particularly for, like, the fire druid. There's nothing you can put here that isn't, like, a downgrade slot-wise, that has more res. Like, yeah, you could put Akira's, right? But yeah, it's great. Except it's literally your best fucking gear piece. Like, your best, like, damage multiplier outside of your weapon, your best source of AR, your best source of free stats, your best source of free skills. And, like, I'm using this now because I want more resistances, but the absolute best in slot 1 is the one that, is freaking buffing your fire damage. So it's like, alright, well, sure, right? I can wear a smoke, I can wear this, I can wear that. But if we're just going to talk about, like, massively improving the gear, alright, yeah, this could be a Chains of Honor. which, as far as I know, is still a DPS downgrade, but definitely survivability upgrade. This could be Amara's. I have Amara's, by the way. I could be wearing it, but it's like 20 or resist, not going to make that much difference, right? Like, yeah, this could be god tier, like tri-res boots, blah, 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 blah. And now we're just getting into, like, silly territory to talk about, like, this is how you have to interact with poison. Because I'm literally at 7% poison. Like, the amount of, like, god level gear that you need to start slotting on your character to have poison res in hell is, like, you have finished the game. You're done with the game. Like you're not interacting with the challenge at that point. You're literally just like slotting things on to see a number go up. And particularly when you're talking about something like a druid that has no, like, it has no post-game loop. Like, there's nothing to do with a druid post-game. Like, what are you gonna MF? It's not a good MFer. Like, at best, like, this guy could be maybe like a Pitzerker if you had an Enigma in it, like, and now you're just getting into like stuff that could literally take a month to grind to give this guy a post game. When you could give it to a Berserker and now he's just gonna, or a Hamilton, now you've just got like a superior character with a superior post game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to actually even try to discuss like that level of gear on a character that's like this irrelevant, it's just like, it's completely demented. Like, you can, as I said, like, look, I want to gear out all my characters, all that sort of shit, right?
Good day.
But at that point, you have to understand that it's not a character anymore, it's a trophy rack. It's not about gameplay, because the gameplay is over. Like, when you've finished Hell, right, and that character does not have a defined, like, post-game use, where, you know, they're basically, which means they're an MFR. The game is over. Like, the character doesn't need to exist anymore. You could very happily delete it. You'll never miss it. So when we start talking about things that, like, are just realistically not part of anyone's gameplay, like even if they have shared stashes and stuff like that, unless we're talking about some, like, open battle net shared stash of someone who's been playing, like, consistently grinding for, like, years and years and years and years and years. Yeah, then they might have, like, enigmas to throw, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's so cool. I love that mechanic. Anyway, the point is, I'm wondering why those Burning Dead are so chunky. It's like, yeah, then they're not that chunky considering they are fire immune, but it's fine. We hack through them. Like, I really think the way to make this character, like, way more pleasant to play, especially in Hell, is to just accept, like, just make some investment in doing physical damage. Like, even just a little bit. Like, for one thing, it allows you to use this and actually, like, leech. Whether or not you can actually leech is, you know, like, sometimes you hit once and you, like, leech for the, like, whatever. It's just a really jank-ass ability, but it has some value, right? So if you have a decent amount of physical damage, you can use that, you can get some leech. That's not happening. But you see what I mean? Like, do you hear any, like, sadness in my voice when I say, like, that's not happening, and I run away from that room? It's like, okay. Oh. Oh my god, that was so rough. And mercenary? I think we're just gonna be a bit of a shockwave bot here for a little while. Okay, castle is so good. Like, look, you just like, you just get out of there if you don't want to be there. But like, I have literally nothing against being like, you know, shoved 3 rooms away by like a ghost pack. I can't fight with the unravelers and I can't do this. But it's like, hey, like we're getting it done. You know what I'm saying? We're separating them. Like we kill this ghost pack, and I might even have to get the merc res like more than once. It's like, don't get me wrong, this sucks compared to playing a caster. It just does. It's just worse, right? But the fact that it's worse in a way that makes it a little bit more fun. It's more mentally engaging and challenging, right? But it's just like the challenge needs to stay within like. Okay, so like way too often in games is you get to these points where you have these almost like zero-sum mechanics, right? Where it's like, if I have this capability, this becomes easy. If I don't, it's impossible. There's no wiggle room. There's no room for like skilling your way through or doing something clever or changing up your strategy. It's literally just like, no, meet criteria A, press button, win game. And this game obviously exists in that space, right? Because it's all about like the gearing and everything else. But you know, there is definitely an element of gameplay in this game where, you know, yes, of course, that you can have gear setups that are so good you can basically just like, or you know, gear setups and builds for that matter, where you essentially don't even have to play the game. It's genuinely effortless. You cannot lose. And you don't even necessarily need gear on them because, you know, some of the builds in this game are just like really stupidly overpowered, like summons. But, you know, you don't play them if you want to challenge. You play them if you want to play on autopilot. The problem is like when you start getting into like the weaker builds, where it genuinely can be like so absurdly binary, where it literally is just like, have this or lose. And you know, have this is just something you maybe have to spend like 2 weeks grinding Mephisto for. Or God forbid, 2 months grinding Pits, or, you know, a month grinding Lord Kuras or something. Like, it's just, ouch. But like, see that when I'm like, you just slowly get it done, you pull it apart. It's not free. Like when I was playing the Cripples on, and the word that I just kept saying was like, it's free. It's just free. The only thing you're really thinking about doing is positioning to deal more damage, which is and get more curse procs, which I really like as a kind of mental puzzle. But just kind of cheaply get in here and get this way. Make sure there isn't another one. There is another one. There's another one. Oh, there's another 2. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm genuinely getting like fucking traumatized by the amount of times I get some like weird input situation in this game, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just that like, I don't know, like the number of times where I'm like, I will press a button to do something, like there, like I want to summon the Oak Sage there, and then I want to like move here, and like just nothing happens. Like I've moved my hands on the keyboard. So it's not like I'm just imagining in my head that I pressed a button that I haven't actually pressed. You know, like I've literally had to shift the positioning on my hand to reach the button. And then I look back and it's just straight up nothing's happened. Like the number of times when I would try to, specifically with stuff like the Oak Sage and the Valkyrie, and I think, I have a funny feeling that I know what it actually is, and I think it's some kind of LOS check. And I think it's related to this game needing, you know, of like shit they have to put in to make this controller compatible. So I'm trying to like... Yeah, that's it. It's a, like, see how like I can't summon it there, right? But now I can like... But it's also like, it's so weird because I'm literally like trying to summon it in the door now. And, you know, it's basically acting like my line of sight through the door like starts here. Like the check is so freaking narrow, and you'll find that a lot of time like you can be like here, but like you can't summon something here. Like it's acting like this column is like obstructing your line of sight or something. Actually just be a save and exit. It's straight up gonna... Yep. Wow. But this is what I mean when I'm like, it's not, it ceases to be interactable. Where it's like, oh, you go down the hole, there's another unraveler. 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 There's another. Like, at that point, it's just like, oh, okay, thanks. It ceases to actually be a strategic puzzle. It just becomes, like...
Good day.
Again, it's just like, oh, look, it's just another fucking, here's a fun tax. Sorry, no. Stand at that door and grind at skeletons for the next 28 minutes. Don't think about anything. Don't try to actually have fun with the game. Don't think that there's anything you can do, because there isn't, because we've just taken every possible strategy you might have away from you. Because there's just physically no space in which to do anything. And this is like the biggest fucking problem with hell difficulty in this game, is that it's just like... It's just an exercise in, like, taking options away from the player, and very specifically, anyone who fucking plays a melee build. Like, if you don't have just, like, busted AoE damage to, like, just get rid of shit that you don't want on your screen anymore, like, how do you deal with this? Like, it's a physical line of skeletons that I don't know whether I can actually get past. Like, every single time I run past a room, I'm just like, yep, thank God, fuck that room. Like, that room can just fucking...
It is an
like, there is literally no gameplay in that room. All there is, like,
There's nothing
40 minutes of, like, you know, seeing how good the fucking build quality on my mouse is. And this is the problem with this game in hell difficulty. It's just like, so often you come up against that. And it's like, fuck, I want fucking puzzles. Like, I don't mind a bit of fucking grind. I don't have any problem pulling a pack of ghosts away from unravelers and spending 5 minutes at the door killing fucking skeletons. But not 40 fucking minutes. Like, it can just go fuck itself. If that's the gameplay it has for me, like, fine, I will literally just skip it. tomb. But so, yeah, so much of it is just like, it's just, as I say, it's just stuff that doesn't fucking scale. Like, to be honest, I would much rather have, you know, like anything that summons, you know, you guys get it. It just does not fucking work when the tiles are this dense with enemies, basically. And every second enemy pack is, you know, a self-regenerating, like, perpetual motion machine that will literally never run out of hit points unless, you know, and, you know, can constantly just kind of respawn itself. And, you know, the answer to that is that you're supposed to be getting to the summoner, but you physically do not have space to get to the summoner, because there's another summoner 10 fucking tiles to the side of him, summoning their own pack, and then there's one 6 tiles behind him, and then there's one 3 tiles to the right, and you're like, I just need a corner to work from, but, like, there's just a wall of skeletons everywhere, and you can't kill the skeletons. Can't drop freaking Shakos for me for like a week and then insult me with like a pathetic 30% tarn health. I want to keep these assholes stunned. And they made it really easy for me by just attacking my mercenary. You see how, like, instantly it's just like, it's not even about, like, whether or not stuff is immune to fire. It's literally just about, like, oh my gosh, I almost got myself killed there. Anyway, I don't want the game to be free. Like, I'm totally up for a fucking challenge, but like, some of the challenges that this game, like, expects melee builds to deal with are just an absolute load of shit, basically. And especially, you know, single target DPS builds. Because the numbers on the builds, like, even if the numbers on the builds were good, like, even if single target damage was as good as it should be, which it's not, even though this is like comically crazy damage, like, it's still not good enough because it's fire damage. Now, if this were like, okay, so let's actually see what the physical damage is. Now, it's almost a kind of half and half split. No, it's not, because the minimum damage of Fire Claws is so much freaking higher. But yeah, if this were like, I don't know, 4,000 to 8,000, nah, that's way too high. Alright, if this were like 2,000 to like, yeah, let's say 2,000 to roughly 4,000, right? And this is maybe the way it is, but probably push the max damage up, you know, a little bit higher, maybe push it up to like 15k. Like, you're starting to actually, you know, get to see numbers that would make sense for, you know, like when you have to when you have to attack everything one at a time, like, it should be really realistically feasible that you just one-shot every normal. And I don't mean that in the sense of, like, only if they don't have too much fire resistance, only if they're not fire immune, only if they're not part of a, you know, only if they're not a elite, only if they're not this, only if they're not that, only if they're not, you know, like, just uniquely physically resistant, like a fucking zombie or something. Like, no. And I don't mean, like, you have to grind Lower Kuras for 3 weeks to get a weapon to do it. Like, I mean, like, you should just fucking one-shot everything. Like, just straight up. You know what? And the reality is, if you literally one-shot everything and you never missed as a melee character, there are still melee builds that would just, like shit like the stuff I was just dealing with would always be just like, no. Like puzzles where you just have no puzzle pieces to deal with. It's literally, you just don't have the tools in your toolbox. Even if you just one-shotted everything. Because, you know, the value of killing shit one at a fucking time is just not that high, even if you're doing that very, very efficiently.
Greetings.
I hate the freaking curse.
Greetings.
But at least I have some, you know, at least the enemy composition is, like, manageable. And to be honest, it could be a little bit worse. But as I said, so freaking often difficulty in these games is this really frustrating binary where it's like you just kind of either your brain AFK or you just realize that you hit a completely fucking impassable wall. It's literally one or the other. And I'm saying that can seem like the way it is. But you do get these moments where it's like there is a little bit of gameplay that can actually, like, influence the outcome. It's just so sad how actually rare they are, because to be honest, like, that is when this game is at its most fun. I wonder if I'm just straight up in the wrong freaking tomb here. I swear I checked the tomb. What an absolute, just fucking miserable, tired, like, just, oh my god, that fucking tomb. It's rare that I see one that is just genuinely that much of a fucking ball ache.
Good evening.
And imagine trying to go through that with fucking Unravelers, like, god. I was gonna say, I don't want to spend like the next, 30 seconds just chopping at zombies, but... Are you joking, game? Like, I can't click on a fucking zombie? Like, maybe don't fucking spawn them around here? If you're gonna force me to interact with this when I'm trying to freaking interact with enemies? That thing is so monstrous, like... if you get like a rib cracker and actually upgrade it, that thing is just an absolute killing machine. This is so fun. I love just like whiffing how many of my fucking attacks while swinging at half speed. I do forget, like, just how much, like, stupid amount of health I have. I'm used to playing characters where, like, you know, when the bulb gets low, you're, like, already in, like, you know, brown trouser mode. But this is, like, when the bulb gets low, I still have 700 life. And it's just a matter of, like, leaning on my mouse until either Juriel falls over or I run out of potions. But honestly, that's not bad. Like, this is Players 3, hell. We just kind of walk through him quite easily.
Diablo, I will find you yet.
So, I don't know.
You have
Look,
greetings.
I'm kind of like...
Resist.
Because I've never done a Fireclaw's bear before. And, like, I'm kind of impressed with the bear. But it's like, you know, someone out there in internet land, assuming anyone's even watching, probably not the case. But let me keep my, you know, my comforting delusions. Someone out there is maybe going to think like, but you do nothing but complain about the bear. Alright, smartass, checkmate. But, no, look, it's like the things that are like the things that suck about playing the bear, like, they are not coming as surprises to me. Like, I know that these things about the game suck when you play a melee character. I know these things about the game suck when you play a melee character that has to kill enemies one at a time. I know that certain things about the game suck when you don't have a shield. You know, like, no one is surprised by this. Like, it would be exactly the same if I were playing a Fury Druid, or if I were, like, I would be making exactly the same complaints if I were playing a Fury Druid, or, you know, a Barbarian using a Maul or something. Whatever, doesn't matter. Any big chunky melee fighter, Vengeance Pala, you know, any kind of melee fighter, and they even have a freaking shield. You know, whatever. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, these things are, like, known. But within that, you know, like, this, to me, this is so much better than a Vengeance Paladin.
Welcome to...
Like, that feels like a no contest to me. Like, Vengeance Paladins are so bad. Because Paladins, like, they can't really tank it out. Yeah, they just don't have enough life. And they have really good resistances, and they can have really good blocks. But, you know, sometimes you're in groups where, like, just, you know, one crit goes through and you are, like, in brown trouser mode. And, you know, you need to kill shit fast as a paladin. And paladins have bad CC, so there's no way to kind of finesse your way out of a rough situation. Like, you can use conversion. But conversion is... Conversion can be, like, extremely dangerously unreliable. Because conversion requires you to, like, run at something that is already, like, because you're using CC, right? You've already judged that whatever you're trying to, you know, get into, you've already determined that it's beyond your ability to deal with, right? That's why you're trying to employ CC against it. Well, now you have to physically run into it to employ that CC, and it's based on your chance to hit, and if you whiff a couple of times, you maybe just die. So, like, you know, conversion can absolutely be a lifesaver, but I don't consider it to be very reliable at all. Like, conversion is way better for, like, I don't know, if you're just going through, like, some grindy, rough,
looks like Jade.
dungeon where you know, like, there's going to be a lot of awful stuff, like the Chaos Sanctuary or something, where you just constantly have a couple of, like, converted guys running around with you, like, this is, hey. Alright, we're gonna just like quickly pop this on just because I want to see some Frost Novas. Like, this is a really good, like, if you're playing, yeah, even a Fireclaw Druid, like, and you just want to be like, I don't know, maybe it doesn't proc when you're in bear mode. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I think it just doesn't proc when you're in bear mode. But whatever. If you're playing a character that, like, you know, how did they get aggroed over here? Whatever. Why can I not reach? Oh my god. I just realized, like, I literally have an empty hand. I'm slapping these guys with, like, no weapon at all. God, fucking Druid, man. It's like, they just didn't give a shit about whether or not the Druid was good to play. Like, he just sucks. And, like, he sucks in ways that are, like, so unforgivable. Like, not being able to see your weapon swap, for example. Like, how about that? How about just basic fucking quality of life? Like, how about not dying because an arbitrary timer runs down when you're in combat? Because that timer, for some reason, like, your ability to just use your build at all, like, every single skill point you've invested, like, is meaningless because an arbitrary timer says no, and now you have to wait a second before you recast it. Like, because they couldn't be bothered making fucking death animations for the monsters, so they had to force you back into your like that's literally the truth of it. Like, that's like, these are the kind of reasons why playing the druid sucks, because they just couldn't be bothered. Like, they had these, like, clever ideas, like, let's make him turn into a bear, let's make him turn into a werewolf, but, like, they couldn't make it permanent because they couldn't be bothered making death animations. So they put it on a fucking timer, and then they made it so that, like, you insta-revert if you're, like, getting killed. But then they can't make it so that, like, you can use it to, like, kind of shield gate damage by, like, constantly turning back to a bear. So they have to put a fucking casting delay on it. Like, you know, it's like some fucking Rube Goldberg machine, like, to make, you know, like, to make everything work with as little effort as possible. And it sucks because the things that, like, they actually did put effort into, like the, you know, the character model on the bear looks so satisfying. The, like, just the bitch slap looks so good. Like, even the way, like, this ability works, where, like, yeah, there's a little bit of, like, you know, it has a teensy little bit of, like, mechanical finesse to it, where, like, you can spread it further, you can tighten it up. But yeah. So, like, who is that mace even for? Like, let's be realistic. These like, it depresses me so much because it's like, so it won't work on a druid. It won't work on a whirlwinding barbarian. Work on a concentration barbarian, but it's like 10% chance to proc. I mean, I guess you get a decent amount of procs with the concentration. But then it's like, you know, concentration, you really need your weapon to do a lot of damage. So...
Good day.
I don't know. I do think this is pretty good on a zealot, and you can pair, like, you can basically use this the way I use Rip Hook on an Amazon, where you literally like you just get a bunch of slow, you have the frost novas constantly going off, and it's like you're not doing a whole lot of damage, but like you have things like crushing blow, open wounds, blah blah blah. Like you get them on your boots, and then you know you have an Atmos, and you know you just kind of like chunk your way through stuff. Like it's a bit slow, but you can kill anything because if you proc the curse on it, like even a stone skin will die. And you know it just kind of keeps you safe in the meantime. I know we're all supposed to hate Act 3, but honestly, as a druid, it's way better than Act 2. Like, just being able to leech off everything, like no, you know, not like 70% of the monsters you actually fight being freaking undead that you can't leech off.
I am overburdened.
Like that alone is enough for me to kind of not hate it here too much. There's a lot of poison, which I don't like, but God, there's way more poison in Act 2. We are on players 3, aren't we? Yeah. Like, Jesus, when things aren't fire resistant, like this guy just collapsed them. I don't know why I came back there. I should have known there was no veer off on like that tile, and I don't think there's going to be a way around. Oh, okay. Hello. I just said I don't think there's going to be a way around, and it freaking tricks me. But yeah, I can pretty comfortably use the axe here because there are so few fire immunes and just like play a lot safer, have a little bit of block. Slightly better resists. Man, this little axe chunk's pretty good. I do feel like there has to be a better one-handed weapon than the Obedience, even though the Obedience is like... really synergistic. But it's just like... you know, it just needs to be a damage stick with like some good like AR affixes, stuff that makes you hit well, some crushing blow maybe. And otherwise just be like a big damage stick. Is that, I love like little things you can do like that, where it's like, okay, give me something that I can interact with, right? You know, like I can knock them out of the Inferno with the CC. You can also dodge around the Inferno. Oh, we got a Great Marsh skip. That's nice. maybe I'm just like lucking out on the enemies here or something. I don't know. Not that the enemy conflict is that much in Act 3, but like this is just chill. Still, haven't actually been in the player's dungeon yet, or the spider lair, both pretty like infamously awful places to have to go. Like, I'm not even needing to use shockwave much to like lock them down or stop them dealing damage. Like, I can kind of just wade in and brawl with them and just kind of beat them all to death, you know? This is kind of the dream as a melee character. I'm gonna like, man, these are grisly stuff. Like, when you actually look at some of this stuff closely. Act 3 for me is 100% like one of those, it's one of those examples of like, it can feel so bad to be in the jungle when you don't have any space, like, and you're just trying to run through it. And it's like, yeah, look, if you're on ladder or something, you just gotta like,
I am overburdened.
you know, like that's the gameplay you're asking for at that point, which is cool. Some people love that.
I am overburdened.
All that excitement and stuff, you know.
Well, Ormus may know something about this unusual blade.
Oh, that's right. I thought I'd thrown the figurine out or something, but I just realized it's in my stash. Ooh. Oh yeah, so if you're ever wondering whether I was going to complain about the Defiance aura, like, especially punishing melee characters. I don't think anyone would find that surprising to learn, apart from just the fact that you have to run into it. Apart from the fact that you get more damage from melee attacks in Hell, because all melee attacks don't have elemental damage, so it's just a flat damage buff. The fact that it lowers your defense rating, so it makes it hit you more, blah 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 blah. Like, it's one of the few auras in the game that, you know, something like a sorceress, like, even has to care about at all. Because if you pair it with something that has ranged attacks, then suddenly it's really dangerous to, like, the ranged, you know, characters. Otherwise, they can kind of just ignore it. But, like, for a melee character, in Hell, Conviction is just a death sentence. Like, it's so dangerous. Especially, like, especially when it's on something that, like, already does, like, hard-hitting elemental damage, like, even if they're, you know, in close combat, something like Misshapen or something. Like, they'll just delete you so freaking fast if there's a Conviction aura on them. And then it's like... Alright, hold on, let's turn this in. Because I'm just kind of babbling here. Me! You now speak to us.
This magic ring does me no good. Here.
We'll see. This magic ring. It's not... No, I kind of hate it. Like, why does it have attack rating and cast rate? Look, I know, because it's RNG, but you see what I'm saying. Like, I'm questioning Ormus here. I'm role-playing, alright? Leave me alone. Ah, the golden bird of Guide.
Damn it, I wish... What can I do for you? From the ashes of Guile, I have mixed for you a potion.
Excellent. Potion. Alright, let's go get, you know... Oh, Callums. Filthy bits. Oh, Jesus, I need to go back, because I still haven't been into the thing in the Spider Forest. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can get the waypoint here first, because I'll just run to that from town if I need to. I mean, that could have been, like, somewhat helpful to grab during the fight. Yeah, look how many freaking potions this fat boy needs to take. Just to, like, get it back up there. Back in the chunk, you know. I hate the noises these things make. Like, please don't make gross noises when I kill you. It's like so disrespectful. I'm probably gonna end up freaking running all the way to Travancore and then hitting that waypoint. Is this just where like people who use fire skills come to have fun or something? I so rarely play fire characters that like I don't know where they go or what they do. Like, well, like any sensible person, if I'm playing a paladin or something, I'll use holy fire for the moment. It makes normal so easy. Pretty much you can easily punch you with holy fire. Get the funk back in the chunk. It takes so freaking long. Nice, get a waypoint. I've never been in that place. I'll probably never go in that place. Like, if you told me that, like, that's the best place to farm Crown of Ages, I'd be like, don't need a Crown of Ages that badly, man. Just, I don't care. Like, I know what Act 3 is like. I know what going underground in Act 3 is like. I don't fucking want to know what's down there. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I went into the Arachnid lair, you know, by mistake once. Once. It only happens once, right? It's one of those things in your life. It only happens once. Because you fucking learn. No, ain't no force on earth gonna get me down into a freaking optional dungeon in Act 3. Like, even the first time I played the game, I was like over this shit by then. I was like, nah, I don't care. You know, I did the Bloodraven crypts and all that, like when I first took it. I do that quite often. I'm a sucker for the Act 1 dungeons. You know, the Filthy Hole and the pit and, you know, the butt crack in the ground and all that stuff. You know? I don't think I've ever, like, willingly done all the Tombs of Tal Rasha, but I've somehow managed to get into situations where I've like done a bunch of them being completely uncertain which one is which. I have no idea how I managed to, like, probably drugs were involved, but yeah. Alright, kill the unique, but this sort of chunk. Freaking zombies, man. And, like, these guys having fanaticism, like, just don't even concern me. They're not immune to fire. These guys maybe, because they're ranged. We just want to make sure we make plenty of space as we kind of work our way over to them. Ah, there we go. That was for like fanaticism aura. That was like super easy. But yeah, this feels more like I'm playing on Nightmare, and I was playing Nightmare like earlier today. I was doing the last act. And doing most of it on Player's A. Obviously, for any single elemental build, Nightmare is going to be way easier than hell, and usually pretty easy to do on something like Player's A because things just don't have the resistances, and you know, you're starting to get all your synergies, you're getting plus skill items, like your damage is getting like big spikes. Ah, there we go. Any chance of a waypoint here? No? No waypoint? Ah, go fuck yourself. Alright, let's see how we do against Zark, which shouldn't be a stressy fight. I mean, we got the Merc. He can, Alright, it's just... Sometimes Zark can get spicy, and you know, you need a lot of space to carry. I do not want to run into that. Yeah, this isn't too bad. Like, you do have some weirded, like, when you're using the obedience, like, your physical range is, like, nice and long. So, like, as long as you keep everything stunned, like, you can actually just, like, stay outside of, like, the range that they can even attack you. But yeah, we've had to play, like, slow and safe for way too long. And Zark's gone now, so, you know, we just get the curse up, and then hopefully we can just come in and clean up the other pack nice and fast. So a lot of freaking spiders. But this to me, like, this bear is feeling just like a better Berserker. Like, don't get me wrong, the Berserker would not have had those problems in Taurash's stream that I had, because the Berserker is really good at just ignoring content he doesn't want to play, which is one of the things that I really liked about it. But also, ignoring content gets boring, and it doesn't feel that great. What a freaking loot pile. Like, we were just chopping through them like a freaking forest. And here we got a rare ring. We got some like exceptional armor. We got this elite weapon. We got to ID it all, right? We can't disrespect the loot gods. Hey, dual resist. Plus life. Could be worse. What we got here? Nah, 88 ED. Not good enough, but still cool to see. Ah, we got Kogamore, huh? Yeah, War Cries is cool. Wasn't really expecting much. And then what do we got here? Honestly, a little bit of life, some dual resist, some energy for quality of life. Not the worst, but not amazing either. I suppose I should look at that. I rarely look at these. Because, like, I feel like it's just not that hard to farm. What is it? Titans. Even Thunderstroke. Wait, what did I just save and exit for? I don't know. Look at this, like, I play through Hell, like, so slow, and I always try to play it on, like, a higher players count.
Hello.
And I feel like this is, like, the way to play. Like, this is, like, if you wouldn't have, like, some fun with this game, like, yeah, look, you can do, like, challenge runs and stuff like that, but I'm telling you, they are more fun to watch than they are to play. Like, I'm just take my word for it. Now I need to go to... Yeah, so I'm kind of, like, a little bit antsy to, like, ID some of these jewels, because, like, maybe they're, fire facets, but I want to get, like, a good stack of unidentified stuff together first. And yeah, we gotta go to the Flare Dungeon. Hold on, what? Oh, talk to Ashura. Yeah. Nah. She can talk to God. I want out. Like, this has not been that bad for, Act 3, which, you know, so many people, it's just their prison music. But I've never thought Act 3 is that bad. Like, look, I'm sure if you're a speedrunner, you have, memories of getting, like, absolutely, like, just learning to hate it because it can pull bullshit, like, you know, spawning the quest dungeons in the wrong area, but it's technically in the right area, but it's in, like, a little pocket of the area, and having all these, like, double backs and stuff like that. It's really hard to just go through. We slapped the taste out of their mouths. Like, they just... You know what, let's crank this up just a smidge. Because I don't exactly have, like, MF on this guy. Actually, do I have any MF? I have 10% here, and I have a Geeds. Hold on, I probably should have just looked at that. Yeah, 42%. You'd be surprised at the stuff that can drop on 42%. I mean, this guy found me my Witchwild string, which was like... Like, I was genuinely, like, you know, thinking, like, oh, I'll probably change him to, like, something else. Like Fury Druids. I used to have a lot of fun with, like, Fury Druids back in the day. And I've got some good moles and stuff to, like, you know, play around with. No shield life. But when we get the job done, my charms could be so much better here. Like, I would give up a lot of these for, like, just more resistances. Like, these plus 20 life, you know, like this, like, all could be just resistances. And my resistances would then just be, like, sword. I do hate these things, guys. But this is what I hate about it, is like yo, like I can't even like pick up loot without like another, you know, mob just kiting in, and it just kind of like drags you through the tile set. See, sometimes the leech is like super clutch there. Like I was genuinely like, oh, am I gonna have to drink a juvie here? But double Highland Blade drop. But we just got some leech, and but yeah, like this is where Act 3 gets like really just where it just feels like you're fighting like one endless mob, and it literally takes like 10 minutes just to get enough space to be able to like, you know, look around at the loot and maybe pick some shit up without like another 6 fucking players like running in needing to be killed. Like, what is, like, you see how fast that fucking thing is? Oh yeah, did you know that, by the way? Did you know that, like, it's almost a waste of time to shockwave stuff that has fanaticism? Because it is. There's also a Holy Freeze Aura slowing them. They're so fast, they can squeeze in attacks between the shockwaves while Holy Freezed. No, no. You can literally go fuck off. Like, look how much shit. Like, this is what I say when it gets frustrating. It's just like, I didn't fucking move. My Merc just like took 5 steps down, there's a whole new fucking pack just kited straight into us. it's like, I don't know, man. Sometimes I genuinely think that like when I play games, I so often have this thought of like, was this play tested? Like, was this actually, like, did someone actually playtest this and say, like, you know, no, I like this. I like not being able to pick up loot. You know, I like the fact that, like, I just never have space. That I can literally spend 5 minutes killing, just clicking my mouse button, killing shit, killing shit, killing shit, killing shit. And then, like, you know, I want to just kind of, like, say, all right, can I have 1 second to catch my breath? No, 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 go fuck yourself. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's like, in this day and age, I know for a fact people are literally just like playtesting their own shit or like having their friends playtest it. Your friends aren't going to tell you when you fucked up, by the way. Like getting your friends to like edit your book or playtest your game, or like literal waste of time. Why is my health just going down? I hate poison so much. Curse. It's like, I thought I had found some like gameplay. Forbid I actually be allowed to play the game, right?
Good day.
But this is what I mean, like, it's like, you're supposed to, like, beat the thing and then feel good that you beat the thing. And then be like, okay, what's the next challenge? Not like, oh, I just beat the thing and now I'm punished by being forced to stop playing the game that I want to play. Because the thing put, you know, a completely uninteractable STD on me that I have to, like, go back to town to have cured. Another curse. Look at the mercenary, though. I have no idea how he stays alive like that. Is he on player's 8? Okay, they're also attacking the sage.
Yes?
But yeah, I don't know. So often I feel like games just like they really suffer from having like genuinely bad playtesting. You know, people who are just like, they can't really communicate what they like, what they dislike. Like, I know, so, you know, people are gonna think like, oh, it's a $1 billion industry. they probably take it really seriously. And it's just like, you know how many billion-dollar industries are just run like a fucking circus? I mean that like, you know, at like the kind of like operational level or something like that. Oh, goody. Another curse. Honestly, like, this guy... very conditionally, but he does have situations where he can kind of just play through the curse. Just keep everything locked down and don't get hit, basically. But... you're entirely at the mercy of whether or not you can actually lock that type of enemy down. If it's, you know, if they're ranged enemies or something, then you're just as helpless and screwed as any other melee character would be. But God, just the number of times you can just get like cursed in a row. And it's just like, you don't even notice it when you're playing an Amazon or a Sorceress or a Fire Druid or a Summoner or a, like, the list goes on. I just thought I heard my freaking mercenary die, and I was like, what? Full health. But yeah, these guys are so much less annoying than those little freaking ankle biters. And it's the craziest thing, because like the little ankle biters are like, they're not that dangerous. They're just shit to play into. Like the spacing is just weird. It like, you literally never get a break. And often, like, if you have to move it all facing, like, one group, you can just end up kiting, like, another one straight into you. But yeah, it's like, we talk about things that, like, completely screw you as a melee character, and it's just like, you know, like Mana Burn is so much more dangerous to a melee character than Caster, as crazy as that sounds. Like, it's like, I genuinely cannot think of a mechanic in this game that is, like, worse for a caster than for a melee character. The only thing that they even seem to have thought about in that context, where they were like, okay, let's have something that like really messes with casters, is like in some Act 5 tiles, there are enemies that can use the Blood Mana Curse, which is like, the Blood Mana Curse does not punish you for being caster, it punishes you for like having a wildly improperly statted caster. That is a really freaking cool charm. Like, yes, if you stat your caster really badly, and like you want to die and you have more mana than life, then like, yeah, blood mana is terrible. Nobody does that, so and the fact that, like, you know, they didn't realize no one would do that is like, you just had bad playtesters who had no idea, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just, like, none of your playtesters thought, oh wait, hold on a minute, I get like passive energy per level, I can just like drink a potion and spam abilities for seconds and seconds and seconds. Why don't I just not put any points in that? Damn. It's very rare that I actually end up with like any amount of Act 3 waypoints. Like legit, I will straight up just run through the whole of this fucking act and then just wait for a traffic hole and like work backwards from there if I have to. I hate these guys who run away. But this is on Players 5. Wow, it's so nice just being able to like leech on monsters. Use my freaking kit. Use the whole of my kit. Easy chunky way, but let's just get rid of these friends first. And he just like 100 to zeros me so fast with his freaking frenzy. I just need like a regular 4-socket controller. Or resist? Shh. Ah, that was a cool find though. Like, I don't normally value poison damage, but 100 poison damage on a small charm is pretty nice. Epic bulwark base. I'm kind of lost in this stinky jungle now. That's fine. I'll just work my way through. You know, it's on Players 5. I'm getting really nice XP. We're level 80, and we're nowhere near finished health. And it's not like I've been doing this for like weeks and weeks. Like aside from Act 1, I think I've streamed all of my time playing in hell.
I can't carry anymore.
Yeah, the old dust deep. It's like, you know, you're playing comfy when you're just stacking up jubies like this. Like, you start with like one, and then, you know, you're like, oh, okay, guess I need another. And that's not me saying like, oh, I'm playing so well. It's just like, oh, okay, the bear's not that bad. fun things that happen when you have an damage curse on you.
Yes?
They legitimately just did like 1,500 damage in less than a second. Curse is the worst freaking mechanic in this game. 100%. Like the more I like come back to this game and actually play it and just like have to try to fucking deal with that thing as a melee character, it's just like so grossly overtuned for like no fucking reason. Where, you know, it's absolutely 100% just like hard punishing you for playing, you know, for just, you know, having one of basically two play styles. You're just hard punished for that. Alright, I'm thinking we're definitely on the right track going this way. Like, what? There were aspects of this jungle that were like, was like tiled with enemies. You know, with like a carpet. You literally couldn't walk. You were like tripping on the little rocks. And now it's just empty. I can literally taste the lower crust air. We're so close. Wait, I'm in the fucking Great Marsh? Like, I'd be very happy to fight this if I felt like, you know, I was doing it for a reason. exactly how many fucking chain attacks are on this island. And this is guarding one fucking super chest. Alright, you know what? Like, is that literally it? There's nothing up here. And there's still more fucking shit coming out from under the rocks. That's a good charm, but... it's not that good. I'm not muling it off. It doesn't really matter how much you enjoy the gameplay in Act 3. It doesn't take long for the maps to just like wear out your patience and you're just like, oh, I'm sick of this shit. I just want to be in the rest now. I genuinely get stressed out by like these enemies because like by particularly like fights like this, because it's just like, look, when I'm literally at the point where there's just a fucking carpet of these little cunts and there's so much garbage has been dropped on the floor that I'm just like, look, I just don't want to pick up dumb shit in my inventory, so all I fucking care about, like, can we just move this somewhere else? But I can't move it somewhere else, because if I move it somewhere else, there's just another 7 packs of these little fucks. But it's like, the actual fighting, it's fine. Like, we're just kind of chopping. I'm just like not invested in what I'm physically doing now because, you know, I kind of rolled the dice on my luck for the Act 3 map to see if I was going to get like a decent one or be completely shafted and have to stay here for way, way, way fucking longer than is sensible. And, you know, I just rolled double ones or something. But it's fine. Like, the only time this game will genuinely start to really annoy me when I'm like playing through like this is if I just feel like I'm doing stuff for no reason. Like, am I getting any closer to like another act? Is there some like clear path to like where I need to go? Or is there even just like, you know, a sensible map that I can just kind of like quarter off and, you know, just methodically go through and scan? Like, if you have to methodically go through and scan like this map, like, just... don't worry about it. That's exactly what I wanted and needed, was the fucking Great Marsh waypoint. Like the worst place in the fucking universe that I never want to actually come back to. But whatever. I have a funny and really horrible feeling that the Flayer Jungle dungeon is in some like corner of the Spider Forest or something, because I just went through the entire Flayer Jungle and ended up in the Great Marsh. But at least I run fast. There's got to be just some little fucking corner that I've missed. Yeah, I can see it now. I just got like turned around in here. It's so frustrating, but it happens. Hustle is just really making my life easy at this point. Option to like ignore those fucks. Are you fucking joking? Gotta love it. It's just like this one filthy little corner you didn't go to. I was gonna say, I think we might actually have to go back to refill the potions, but amazing. The game actually just like let me have that. And we're just gonna take this nice and slow. Like, if I try to run through here, it's just gonna be horrible. It's gonna be gross. Really, game? Like, what? It's a melee enemy. Why is it running away? Like, what the fuck is it kiting? I know what it's doing. I just hate that it's doing it, because it's just like even something that simple, you know, when enemies just have some like weird, you know, scaling to like every single stat, so that even just the speed at which they move is like in hell difficulty. Now you're literally just saying, go fuck yourself for being a melee character again. Like, here's a melee enemy that has like they're just gonna run away just because you can't shoot them and stop them, so fuck you, you're gonna have to just chase after them and get kited into another pack of enemies. Like, this is just a fun tax for you because you don't play a range character. And it's so maddening because it's like, I don't know, man. Like, just put in stuff that hurts range characters. That's fucking all they need to do, right? Like, you can literally lay out the thought process behind, like, everything they do to fuck with you as a melee character. Where it's like, okay, we're gonna make sure this, you know, this causes you problems and that causes you problems, and then you're gonna have to build around this and build around that. And if you try to do this, you're gonna be, like, really punished. Or, like, if you try to, like, you take this risk, like, it can go really badly because of this or that. Like, you know, the thought process is there, and it's so clear and it's so obvious that, like, you know, it genuinely feels like someone trying to make the game hard, and then it's just like where did all that fucking genius go when it came to like making the game a challenge for casters? Because it's literally nothing. Just waiting. Having to go back to buy freaking health potions because,
Good evening.
you know, even with a freaking 5-row belt, I just run out. The actual fighting is not going too badly. And I'm trying to like not stress about the tile. Huh? I'm sorry, where did the just 2 random fucking uniques just magically fucking appear in a room I'd already walked through? With auras? Like I wouldn't have fucking seen. I don't know, man. Like,
I can't carry anymore.
if anyone can explain what just happened there, I'd love to hear it. Honestly, this is the Flare dungeon, and it's just not that big a deal. Like, the only thing that's gonna make me cry here is the map, basically. If I have to, like, you know, explore, like, every freaking corner of the map, I'm gonna start to, like, become a bit impatient. But the actual fighting is pretty decent. Obviously, if dolls spawn, it's gonna get more painful, but... only to the extent where I kind of just have to let the most of it. Those guys are fire immune, so it's taking me a while to actually like chunk them down. That doesn't feel too bad. Goes the witch doctor. Honestly, that was like, that might actually have been like the least bad Flare dungeon I've had, like, since I started playing this game again. The Flare dungeon I had with my sorceress was like horrible. And I'm not like, I'm not even saying like in the sense of like, oh, this build just does it so comfortably.
Yes.
But like, no, just good luck on like the spawns. It like wasn't too stupidly dense. I didn't get like lost down there, and you know, just kind of like went through, rubbed around a bit, found brain and brain. What is brain? And kind of like my negative, my bad luck, sort of doubles back now and becomes a blessing because I've because I kind of stumbled onto this waypoint earlier, so I don't have to do too much backtracking. Man, all my bitching, and actually this act has kind of done me a bit of a solid. Like, I've had to spend way too long, like, just, you know, goofing about in the dungeon, but I've spent way too long just kind of grumbling around in the freaking jungle, which nobody likes, but the fights have not been that bad at all. You know, constantly getting, like, shoved back to town by curses. Again, it's a little... You play any melee character, that's gonna happen. You know, that's just part of your gameplay loop. It sucks. The devs hate you. Sorry. That shit, where it's like just these two little fucking ankle-biting pricks sitting on that bridge, and then if I like go up to kill them, you know, I end up like kiting another mob into me, and it's just like, man, those little guys are clearly designed to be like extremely freaking annoying. I think they're a little bit too annoying personally, but it's fine. Like Act 3 at least has character of like being a kind of like a ball leg, you know? It's just like these really long stretches of kind of like awful samey tile, like really crawling with just like annoying ass enemies, and then every now and then it can just kind of like throw something like, you know, pants browningly horrifying at you, like Stygian dolls or souls, you know. I always feel pretty comfy just like running through these open, like lower Karust-y type areas. Just the map geometry is like really forgiving of you, just kind of like disrespecting it. Which is so nice. Like when I say like, you know, this act is like perfectly paced, whatever. I don't know if it's like deliberate. Why are the normal Zakarumite minis tougher than the super unique? Well, not super unique. It's fine. This is players 5. But yeah, just going from these like horrible fucking dungeon tiles with like the most annoying enemies to now it's just like the enemies are like, there are some really annoying enemies in these tiles, but like for the most part they're kind of more just like straight dangerous. Hello? What? Oh, okay, because of course it was. But yeah, something I didn't actually realize was like not actually understanding exactly how Sunder Charms work and basically how shit they are. And I know someone's going to come along and say, well, if you have these 2 room words, you can farm lower crest for the next 3 weeks and you can make them both. And then you put them on and then you put on 7 skillers. And then Sunder Charm's really good. And like, it's just like, dude, like you're post-game. Why you need 7 skillers when you're post-game? Like you want an inventory full of MF charms when you're post-game. But like, I'm not even joking when I like, you know, I make this shit up and I you know, talk like a moron like that and make some like absolutely just crackhead proposal. Like, there are people out there that literally say like this is what you should do. Go farming with this Sunder Charm build on the Fireclaw Druid. Here you need 9 skill charms and it's just like, so what? I just have, oh, and you need an Enigma, you know, and it's like, oh, okay, so that's where my MF comes. I got 100 MF on my Enigma. Like, you don't think I'd be better off using my fucking time to MF with a sorceress who kills entire rooms full of enemies in the time it takes you to kill one enemy, who doesn't need to carry a Sunder Charm, and who has an inventory full of fucking MF charms, so she has 700 fucking MF to my 100. Like, it's just like, well, here's a way you can, you know, like, pound nails with your head. Here is this amazing technique I've discovered for, like, pounding nails into a 2x4 with your head. And it's like, you can pound nails into a 2x4 with your head. 100%, yep, you can be very successful at that. You can, you know, you can, like, suss out the, like, head-pounding nail meta if that's the kind of person you are. But, like, you know, sane humans will just use a good tool for the job. And like stuff like this is just here to like have fun. That's all. As soon as you like start talking about, you know, fucking some insane endgame setups on a character like this,
Good day.
like fine, have fun putting items on like your trophy rack build. But you're just playing dress up dollies at that point. Like you're never going to do anything with the character. And there's 100% nothing wrong with that, with like playing dress up with your like clothes rack of a character who is completely post-game, has nothing to do and has no like functional, you know, post-game purpose, and you just enjoy like putting better and better and better items on that character. But like, to kind of discuss those items as if they were like core to like your build, when it's like, what build? Like, what is this build for? It's not for finishing the game, because no one has these things until they've like finished the game 1,000 times over. Like, the only way you get these things to, like, even if you muled them to the character, you might not even be high enough level to equip them by the time you've actually finished Hell. So it's just like, that stuff is not part of any build, and I refuse to like discuss that as if it's the case, because it just isn't. Man, this is so freaking annoying. But that's just like an example of like, you know, just like a little problem. You just need to be a little bit patient. just like pull enemies apart. Be willing to deal with packs one at a time. Man, those things are so unbelievably tanky. Yeah, did I come in the wrong temple? No, I didn't. I was 100% certain this was the right temple. Because, like, you don't want to fucking come around to these temples, like, unless you got business here. These temples are places where you can just straight up go to die. Like, you can just spawn inside the door and there's just, like, 3 Fanaticism boss packs. One of which is extra fast and just, like, instantly, you know, body box you from ever getting out. But yeah, as I say, these maps are so freaking nice after the jungle. The jungle is so awful. And it's like, it's actually like, it's not a problem for the jungle to be as awful as it is. The jungle just suffers from the fact that, like, it's kind of weirdly unnavigable and janky, and you spend a lot of time, like, just kind of doubling back and fucking around and, like, playing a really, like, dumb walking simulator. Like, even if you've, like, fully cleared it out, it's still, like, at best, it's way too much of a walking simulator. But, like, if you kind of tighten it up, like, you fix some of the weird bugs where, like, you know, the end dungeons can spawn in, like, janky places. Made it, like, less painful to get the waypoints even. You know, that could make it nicer to navigate, but whatever, you just kind of tighten it up a little bit. Like, this act is so chef's kiss. Like, when you actually get a good jungle and you just kind of, like, go through it without too much fuss. Yeah, I legit have no business here now, apart from to find the sewers entrance. There we go. And the sewers, I don't know any map tricks with the sewers. All I know is that you come in and you just kind of go clockwise. They just hit so much damage so quickly. You know what? If everything that does that much damage to me drops a Cobra rune, you know, I'm open to it. That's an arrangement I can live with 100%. I love me a Cobra rune. Cobra rune's one of my favorite runes. Like, Hustle has got to be, like, one of the most reliable, just, like, clear hell as a melee character. Weapons. It's amazing on your Mercenary, just, like, buffing you and buffing every, like, you know, doubling up with his aura. Very stupid to run away from, like, enemies like this, especially, I didn't even realize it was, and that's players 5, and that guy just gets, like, slapped around. But the problem is, like, I could put the Fire Sunder Charm on, and then I can put the hat on that gives enemies even more reduced fire resistance, and, like, you know, kind of clap fire immunes. But you want to see what happens when I do that? Bonk? Bonk? Bonk. Like, that's not tenable in hell. Especially when enemies that are fire immune will almost always do fire damage with their melee attacks if they roll a spectral hit. Like, at that point, it's like, well, yeah, I can kill them faster, but they can kill me way faster than I'm comfortable with. And you know what? I can kill them now. Like, this is not tickle damage. The physical damage on this obedience is like, you know, it's not like patting them on the head and putting them to bed gently. Like, it's hitting for some big freaking damage, and it's got crushing blow.
Greetings.
So like, I'm okay with that. I think this is the better way, at least for me,
Hello.
than to mess around with some charm nonsense. And like, you know, I've got as
Now then.
much. I mean, I can take this. I'll try this just for a bit. I did try it in Act 1. It's still really good. I mean, it's a massive damage amplifier because everything in hell still has resists, and enemies will still have a lot of fire resist, even with the obedience lowering it. So even at 15%, like when you're doing thousands of damage fire, like remember, this is player's fire. You see anything now that doesn't have fire immunity, it's just gonna get chomped. But yeah, I probably should try to make a duress for this guy, because duress has all resist, doesn't it? Like, that's probably going to be his, like, end-game weapon, as far as I'm concerned. Post-game, realistically. Because I am 100% finishing with this obedience. And I think I'm just kind of heading back to the entrance here, yeah. But yeah, let's see what happens. Oh, God, I hate this map. Well, that's not helpful. Look at this white boy go. He's chonking through him. I probably should put a Row rune in this. For the extra fire resist. Or, well, see, this is the thing. If I put a, I don't know, I could use the Thunder Charm. But then it's like, never actually gonna, like, really sort my lightning. I'm a mercenary, just mercenaries, man. Like, where even was he? Just on the other side of the tile set, fighting something completely irrelevant and just dying. Like, you can tell, for example, you can tell in this game, like, they made mercenaries, like, deliberately useless. They made mercenaries deliberately useless in like the OG iteration of this game because they, you know, because they weren't going to be useful to you. Like their AI was so bad. And if you look at it, it's like the biggest reason people use mercenaries is because they give you some like aura, some utility, something. You know what I mean? Or they just have some, like just by existing, they are giving you some benefit. Because if you actually like want the mercenary to like path and like, you know, do things properly and like, you know, be there and better get a teleport staff and farm lots of gold. Please, mana. Honestly, sewers, not too bad. We're ready to, like, not a lot of the time. I just end up like getting annoyed, doing the High Council, and then coming back to get all this like a bunch of these little bits that I've kind of skipped over in the meantime. But, just kind of going through fairly smooth here. Those lightning bats were, Jesus, they were hurting, but I mean, if I were playing through this like serious, if I were playing through this like hardcore, I would basically stop playing, stop trying to progress through the game until I had my lightning resistance up a little higher, even if that literally just meant using soccer quest to just chuck a rune in a helmet. How do I? This one actually out again, please. Like, I wanted to take one of the further exits, but yeah, fuck it. I'm just, yeah, that's fine. I gotta hustle. I can book it if I need to, and booking it away from those blocks, especially now that I know they're cursed. Even when you're fucking running through,
Yes?
cursed is just a cunt mechanic. Absolute. Like, I don't know, man. A lot of stuff is like, you know, I don't like it, but maybe I just didn't understand the intent. Another fucking curse. With fucking fanaticism. Like, this may just be like a skip. Yeah, this is just a skip. And there's a might pack, like, right next to them. Just... So, right off the bat... You know, I don't know, man. Like I say, I don't want to, like, genuinely, like, come at people and be like, you know, it's just brain rot.
Good day.
Because I'm sure there was some person who was like working at the office that day when they decided that like, oh, let's do a cursed enemy. We'll just have them do amp damage. That's just the first necromancer curse or whatever. But like, I'm sorry, like who the fuck was on playtesting? Like who the fuck playtested this and was like, yes, no, I actually like just not being allowed to play the game. Like it's so fun, it's so cool to just consistently be like told, no, go back to town. No, you want to play the game? Go back to town. Go back to town. No, go back to town. Alright, yeah, but you played the game enough. Now go back to town. Oh, you were having fun? Sorry, go back to town. Yeah, that last fight was really great, but this one? No, fuck you. Go back to town. Nah, go back to town. Like, just that over and over and over and over again. Like, Like, what, did they only playtest for 5 minutes or something? Did they just get bored? Like, what is going on? How can I have 80% faster run walk? And I'm still just like standing still. Like these are things that I'm just like, I'm sorry who playtest this. Like who physically sat here, watched these monsters move across the screen at this speed, and didn't just sort of think like, hey, you know what, Barry, like, it just looks dumb. It just looks stupid. Can we just dial it back a little bit so it looks like, you know, like the serious horror action ARPG and not a fucking Benny Hill gag? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I genuinely, like, it's so much shit in this game, like, genuinely just feels like hell difficulty was never even playtested. It was just like, well, we playtested normal, and the rest is just maths, right? Like, we just crank all the mechanics up. Like, we want it to be twice as hard, so we'll make the enemies do twice as much damage, be twice as fast, have twice as much aura radius, twice as much this, twice as much curse duration. Oh, and now it's hell, so now they get 4 times as much, 4 times as much, 4 times as much. Like, that feels like how hell difficulty was made in this game. And it's so frustrating, because it's like, I don't know, it just should be so much fucking better than it is. This may actually just be like a hard reset, because... Oh my god. Yeah, I should have just hard reset it. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. Just fuck it. But this is what I like, when the game just gives you like a jigsaw puzzle to complete, but then says like, oh wait, you're playing a melee character? Sorry, you can't have these pieces to play the jigsaw puzzle with. Give up 30% of your pieces. Oh wait, looks like you might still be able to complete the puzzle. Sorry, give up another 20% of your pieces. I'm sorry, this boss mob obliges you to give up another 30% of your pieces.
Yes?
Wait, you know what? How many pieces? Just give me all your fucking pieces. You can't do anything. Like, you have no abilities, you have nothing. Like, you die of the boss, it doesn't matter, because the other guys heal him. If he exists, you can be one-shotted. Like, it's just like, do you want to kill his minions? Sorry, he resurrects the minions. And I didn't even fucking get the Travancore waypoint. Not that it matters, because it's always in the same place. But I just completely forgot that fucking ridiculously fast, like, boss pack of ghoul lords literally chased me from, like, one end of fucking Travancore to the other.
Good day.
But yeah, shit like that, like Defiance or like when you have to run into it. Like, there's literally not, like, it is genuinely just like that. That's the only puzzle piece the game gives you left. And I don't know, it's just like, I can be having so much fun with this game, and then, you know, you're just basically reminded that, like, you're not actually supposed to be having fun. Go fuck yourself. Are we for real? Like, this is a playtested part of the gameplay loop for a melee character. Was like just mindlessly chase a character, an enemy. You can't kill it. Don't worry about it. It's 3 times faster than you. You don't have any tools to stop it. Just have fun watching it leave. And if you do try to chase it, you just chase it into like another pack of enemies, and then they're gonna run away, and you know. And it's just like, I don't know. Like I said, like, what is in here that's just like evaporating my health completely?
Greetings.
What can I do for you?
Like, I am so lucky that they're just like, enemy density is just like RNG not so bad in here, because like, this shit is genuinely fucking unmanageable otherwise. Go after the normal council members first, but...
I am overburdened.
What? Good day. Yes?
Very, very rare to get that. Like, for the class you're playing, I mean, at least I almost never have that kind of luck.
Good day.
Stone skin and immune to fire. Gonna be here a while. Alright, you know what, let's try the Thunder Charm.
Good to see you.
I mean, it absolutely balks my fire resistance, but this guy's on his own, or he was, he just got really healed, as he did. Like, come on. Thunder Charm is the biggest fucking piece of shit. Like, I've got 2 items that reduce enemy fire resistance. Like, I could get a third. That's literally it. It doesn't get any better than that. Then I could, like, slot one of them with a fire facet, because 2 of them, like, you know, have to be rune words. You know, there's a one-handed one, and there's a shield. I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain that you can only have 2. It's like Flickering Flame or something. But it's just like, and then it's still that slow. I mean, yeah, I guess you just keep it in the cube and like pull it out when you actually have to. But then it's also one of those things where it's just like we're coming back to this thing of like these are post-game items, like being used to solve, you know, problems that occur when you're actually playing the game. You know, like if you can farm a Sunder Charm, you don't need a Sunder Charm. Because if you can farm a Sunder Charm, like, you can just skip anything that's immune to your elements. You just don't have to, like, you're not still playing the game. You're not forced to go anywhere specific. You're at a point where you can just kind of go wherever you want. And only farm the spots where, you know, nothing is immune, and where you can just kill shit really efficiently. And if you do just come across one of those like random super uniques who just like, you know, you can't do anything to them. You just literally ignore them. Kill everything around them and then just go re-roll the map. Like go do the map again. That's what you're doing, you're farming. Okay, this guy is stone skin and immune to fire, and he just dies. And it's not because of Decrepify, because the other guy was Decrepified at least one point, but whatever. Maybe it's just not as stone skin. But this is okay to have here, like, it's an interesting thing to, like, mule over to someone, I think. Because when you have to win the game, but even then, I mean, you can skip all but one of the council if you want, but I don't like to do that.
Good day.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, the only time you're going to think to yourself, like, oh, okay, it's going to take me ages to just, like, hack through this one guy. You know, we've got him isolated. We have all the time in the world to just slowly hack through them. And you know, it's just one isolated enemy, so I don't have to worry about my fire resistance getting completely bogged. And it's like, yeah, that's useful. Like, sundering like that as a kind of like, I don't even see why that's an item, because it's like, it's not an item that actually makes you stronger. It's just a kind of, like, it feels like an ability that should probably just be in the base game, like for your kit, if you do elemental damage. Because again, it's one of those things that it's like, look, if you're playing through the game and you come across situations where it's like, I have to kill these fire elementals because I need to progress through this act, or I need to complete this quest because I need to ultimately get to Baal and win the game, you know? But then it's like, yeah, that's when it would be relevant. If you've already done that, like, who cares if there's a fire in it? Just ignore it. Just run around it. Just, like, go to an area where they don't spawn, and if, you know, just a random unique just happens to, like, win the spawn lotto, you know, win the affix lotto, to, like, make your life miserable.
Greetings.
Man, Endurance of Hate gameplay. So good. Like, we don't even talk about how badly designed dolls are as an enemy. Particularly as a thing that just uniquely punishes anything that doesn't have a ranged attack. You know, because they're so dominant and so powerful, and nothing else in the game like really like hurts them or causes them problems. Like they obviously needed like just another thing to, like, you know, fuck them up against the wall. But yeah, like, it's like, you get to gameplay like this where it's like, the challenge implicit in something like dolls on hell difficulty is the challenge of, like, I literally cannot engage with them, so it's just, how good am I at ignoring them and running through the tile set? And, like, trying to kind of just stay zen while I engage in this, like, really miserable form of, like, anti-gameplay. That's just, like, there's, like, you do not have a fucking option, man. Like, you kill one doll, like, even with a live pool like this, like, if you actually just try to, like, fight your way through dolls, you just fucking die. And it's like, yeah, you could complete this area if you genuinely, like, wanted to just, like, shockwave every doll pack while your mercenary kills them. Like, yeah, you can do that. You can do that, 100%. If you had to do that, if that was, like, enforced gameplay, like, if you had to, like, turn in the corpses of, like, $1,000 to just physically even get to the fucking Endurance of Hate, like, I just would not play this game.
Good evening.
Like, if I want to play an action RPG that, like, you know, is, like, some hours-long, like, grindy chess game, I'll go play, you know, Baldur's Gate or something. Like the event, like the whole, you know, this is supposed to be an action RPG.
Greetings.
Behold the action of continually going back to town to have curses cleared, of having tile sets full of enemies that are so comically overtuned to just kind of running around looking for the exit. And now going back to clear poison because, you know,
Good
of course.
evening.
But honestly, like, as durances go, this isn't that bad. Like, the durance is never a fun place, it's always fun, especially if you're a melee character. So coming back to this thing of, like, you know, I may be, like, getting, like, grumpy a lot and complaining a lot playing the bear, but, like, none of this stuff comes as a surprise to me. Like, do you think I thought to myself, I shall play a melee character, and I shall not be bothered by dolls in the Durance of Hate. I'll just have a good time there. Like, no. Like, you automatically know you're going to, like, have a really shit time dealing with dolls in the Durance of Hate. And now I like actually have to deal with them. There's so many on my ass. Like this, like I don't dare kill that. And there you go. As I said, not actually having that bad a time in the Durance. Just like that's just what playing Durance of Hate is like on Hell. If you don't have like a ranged attack to kind of just go through and clear it without completely losing your sanity, or you know, just teleport to just basically skip it as quickly as possible. So not that bad. Map wasn't too terrible. Bit of a slog getting down to level 3, but very happy to have the waypoint. Oh, and they're fanaticism, of course they are. Probably should have switched this back to players 3 just to make the Mephisto less of a fucking sponge, but it's fine. That's fine, you come down here. Bad as these things go. But you see what I mean? Like, that guy has Holy Shock, obviously. He's going to do a lot of lightning damage, but, like... I don't know, just... If your resistances aren't good in Hell, you just get crapped on by everything. And if you don't have a shield, like, you don't really have... much in the way of, like, gearing options. But yeah, I really wish we had some better mechanic for... making the bear tanky than just making it a fucking sponge. Because at a certain point, becoming like just being a gigantic, you know, sponge of HP, like, okay, like the value of hit points in a game like this is like, can you be one shot? Or can you be burst down like so quickly that you can't even really, you know, react to it, do anything about it, like whatever. If the answer is no, I have no idea if that's worth keeping or not. But yeah, if the answer is no, then you have enough hit points. Don't worry about it. Like, beyond that, the utility of hit points is more just like, it gives you some like breathing room where like, if you're taking damage too fast, like that, it allows you to kind of stand in the proverbial fire for like a little bit longer. In, you know, hopefully you can like deal with the thing that's hurting you before it like kills you. But, you know, all that really matters is like, you know, it's all a balance of like how long can I stay alive while dealing damage? Is my damage effective? Is it, you know, is it dealing with the problem, right? Not bad.
Mephisto's
Yeah, I'll take a
head
string of
was a
his.
poisonous void.
Oh, it's ethereal, of course it is. That's fine, I've already got one. How long does this poison last? I'd like to kind of go kill this other council member, but... honestly, the Mephisto fight, considering I have 15% lightning resist, which, like, again, if I were playing hardcore, you know,
Greetings.
I would wear this instead of this. I might even just wear this instead of that, although things in this act have a lot of fire resistance, but we'll see. And I'd probably have an Ort rune in it.
The time is good.
Using too many Juvies, though, I'm not a fan of this. And I'm certainly not going to farm more on this act, because this act stinks to farm anything. Wait, what am I doing? I'm looking to...
Hail to you, champion.
Potion up. Get rid of that. And I'll do hell later. Anyway, thanks to anyone who watched. And as I say, like, yeah, I complain a lot when I play the bear, but like I promise you, if I'm playing a berserker, if I'm playing a vengeance paladin, if I were playing a concentration barb, if I were playing a fury wolf, if I were playing a Fireclaw's dog, rabies druid, poison dagger necro, jabs on, impalers on, fens on, you know, even if I were playing one of the elemental damage sons, like they're a little bit stronger with the chain lightning, but I would still be complaining about all this stuff. And the main thing, I'm just kind of like watching the bear, like, just kind of go through it and like not be too bad off. And it's like, I've got some good gear, but like honestly, the like this is probably the best item I have, and it's the one I value least. 100%. If I could found a rare dual res belt that was like, you know, lightning cold, this thing would be in the bin so quick. Like, well, it wouldn't be in the bin, but you know what I I'm saying. If I found better, like, dual or, God forbid, tri-res boots, if I found better dual res gloves, kind of hard because they're good 50%. Better amulet, you know, better resist on this ring, like targeted specific resist. Like, you know, there's a lot I can do to, like, just make this guy, like, tankier and more comfortable. Most of which would just involve, like, doing a bunch of farming. Even just farming better resistance on these charms. Like, a lot of these charms are just kind of like placeholders. Like, this is trash, you know, this is trash, this is trash. Like, 20 life is, like, it's a nice charm, but it's trash for this. Like, I don't want that. Like, give me 10% resist, give me 10% resist, give me 10% resist, give me 10% resist, give me 10%, like, and this would be going through, like, so comfy. Well, not so comfy, but, like, way, way, way more comfy. Like, way less of that, like, yo-yoing health, and just generally, like, because the damage, I've never felt like the damage is too bad. Even the fire immunes, you know, it's definitely slower going against them, but we kind of chunk them down, we get it done. And the non-fire immunes, like, they just, like, whew, even on, like, players 3, players 5, really nice. Especially considering, like, this is such a free weapon, like, anyone can get an obedience. Anyone can get a hustle, you know. And again, it's like, yeah, Joel's is nice, but like you made him, if you found some like really nice pelt with 3 sockets and just made a bulwark in it, like, damn, that could just do the business for you, you know. But yeah, taking off now. Thanks, man.